Hello, it's Representative Rick Larsen, and this is this week's weekly recap with Rick. Thanks for tuning in. I'm in my Capitol office today in Washington, D.C. Congress is back in session, and one of the things that Congress needs to do before we break is to pass a funding bill to keep the government operating. Unfortunately, this week we voted down a funding bill, but fortunately we did vote down that particular one because it was a funding bill that didn't do the work that we needed to do. Also included some irrelevant, extraneous legislation that had nothing to do with keeping our government open. So I'm just really calling on Congress to pass what we call a clean continuing resolution that gets us through middle of December or so. Meanwhile, we can then use the time to work on the full year funding for the U.S. government. Also, I want to just note that we are continuing our work on the Transportation Committee this week. We considered 29 bills in the Transportation Committee, passed 27 of them, if I got that right, including my bill to require air carriers, airlines, and others to develop operational resiliency plans in the event of major disruptions that impact the flights of passengers. Right now, there's very inconsistent resiliency plans among airlines. There's no standards set in place. This bill will set those standards. Also, we passed one of my bills that strengthens FEMA's, the Federal Emergency Management Agency's, post-disaster mental health services to ensure that those with substance or alcohol addictions get the resources that they need specifically to help them deal with post-disaster situations. Also on the floor, my bipartisan FIFA World Cup 2026 Commemorative Coin Act passed. We're hoping to get that in the Senate, but this is a commemorative coin to both honor and create a collectible coin for the fact that we are hosting the FIFA World Cup for the U.S. For the men's national teams in 2026, including 13 games in Vancouver, British Columbia, and Seattle. One of those in Seattle on June 19, 2026, will be the U.S. men's national team playing one of the group stage games. So very exciting. And finally, my transportation and infrastructure colleague, Dave Rouser from North Carolina, and I just won the Brew Across America competition. We provided some advice to a brewmaster in his district and created a Kolsch called Coastal Shine, bringing together the fact that kind of playing off the term moonshine, which originated apparently in the Carolinas, and the fact that I'm from a coastal state, as is he, but also commemorating the fact that I'm a shirt-tail relative of some of the Tar Heels that emigrated across the United States in the 20s and 30s and settled in the Darrington, Washington area. So we brought ourselves together and created a Kolsch called Coastal Shine. It's light, it's drinkable, slight citrus, slight fruit flavors, just slight. We didn't want to overpower people with it. And it's a drink like 15 minutes later, you feel fine. You're not regretting that you had a beer. And so we wanted to have something that people could enjoy. Please drink responsibly. Finally, I just want to say I'll be taking a weekend off, take a little break. We're back in session on Monday. And we got some work ahead of us, and then I'll be back in the district at the end of next week. So I hope to see you then. That's this week's recap with Rick.